Welcome to Slasher Sunday, the Toolbox Murders. I have never seen this, weirdly. This is one of those blind spots of kind of a popular-ish movie in the slasher subgenre that just escaped me. And it has a sequel, or a remake that also has a sequel. The remake is made by Tobe Hooper, so I'm very curious to watch that. So we will be covering that next week. I'm super curious to see how it stacks up against this movie.
Yeah.
Because this movie was a bit of a doozy. It kind of took me for a ride.
Yeah.
So let's talk about it. So I guess we'll just jump right into the movie. It starts off, kind of reminded me a bit of the Maniac remake.
Sure.
When it started, because you got this guy kind of driving around. At first I thought he was stalking for a victim. But that doesn't seem to be the case here. He is going to this apartment building in which he is the...
He's like the...
property man? Oh, is he a maintenance guy?
Or is he the property
Oh, that would
owner?
make sense.
I don't know.
Is he the...
I thought he was like a maintenance person.
The super?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's probably
That's
the
what I thought.
superintendent, yeah. So yeah, he goes to that building in particular that he works at in some capacity. And he just starts randomly killing girls. And the movie is very sleazy and very cheesy. And the acting and the responses from all the girls are super unrealistic and unbelievable.
Yes. Especially in the opening. Like, when it starts off, like a maybe 3 or 4 people die in the opening. And, yeah, they're all, like, so, like, they don't really yell.
No.
They don't fight
You're
back
in an
that
apartment.
Much. Yeah, like
you have
they're
neighbors literally that share walls
around
with
them,
you.
bang on the wall. Like
Yeah.
they don't try and do anything.
No.
Which is very
Shit,
odd.
some of them barely even move.
Yes. They're
like, how can I accommodate you more? How can I be the easiest victim of all time?
Should I lay here and expose my throat?
Yeah.
For you to slit?
Right. Is this a good angle that you can get the blade on it, or should I? What side's better for you?
Yeah.
It's the only thing missing.
Honestly, they basically did that.
Pretty much.
Yeah, and the acting from like everyone especially in the opening, like all these like victims and the police officer and just like kind of everybody is very bad acting.
Yeah, just kind of classic cheesy, sleazy film. It kind of reminded me of maybe Out of the Dark a bit in that way of the sleaziness of it.
Yeah. Definitely. There's one scene, I mean, we'll get there, but there's like a very gratuitous scene in this. And yeah, it kind of, but like Out of the Dark, Out of the Dark has much more, like it kind of stays consistently sleazy throughout.
Well, yeah, that's where we're getting.
Whereas this has like a major tone shift that happens about like halfway through the film.
Yeah, this is what I'm trying to get to, is that's why this movie took me for a ride. It's like, I've never seen a film really change gears like this, where I don't understand how it's even possible to make the first half of this movie this kind of grindhouse, low budget, thrown together, sloppy, exploitation slasher with tons of nudity and lame kills. There's nothing really shown. It kind of tries to imply some gore, like it shows like a shirt getting rolled up in a drill with some blood on it to try to simulate gore to some extent. The kills are kind of not memorable.
Yeah.
The thing that is memorable with it is that he uses a different tool from the toolbox, hence the Toolbox Murders.
There is one memorable kill for me, but...
The nail gun?
No.
Oh.
The fire, but not because it's like a gory death, but just because
he just sits there and takes it.
Yeah.
Like everybody in this. But there is some really genuinely like A+ nudity in this film. I will give it. The girls are gorgeous, the boobs are fantastic, and there is an immense amount. Like there's this girl who's masturbating in the bathtub for like 2 straight minutes and just bubbling and lotioning up her tits.
We get
the whole
like 5
time,
minutes of her like naked.
I was like, this is a classy movie. This is my kind of movie.
Yeah, that scene like is straight up like out of a softcore porn film. She's in like full makeup in the bathtub.
Yeah, so it's so bizarre for it to go from that to what we end up going to. So we'll get there, but it really blew my mind.
I definitely got much more like, when we put this on the first half, I was just kind of like, thought I knew sort of where things were going to go and like how I was going to feel about everything. Right. And then I end up having like, there's some really, really actually great performances in this. And it's like very dark and very like just not what you expect from a sleazy slasher film.
It feels like 2 completely different
films. Which kind of
films.
makes sense that like Tobe Hooper would remake it because it has like, I think it has this like potential there.
Yeah.
And seeing those scenes in particular, it's just kind of like, whoa, like what are these doing in this movie? Like, it feels like a totally different film.
It does feel like it feels like a mashed together film. 2 different films mashed together, for sure. It feels like a completely thoughtless, poor attempt at a slasher in the beginning for the first 20 or 30 minutes. Because the first like 20 or 30 minutes is straight up just a guy going from room to room and killing girls.
He kills so many girls in this apartment complex.
And and then the police show up and whatever, and then you're just like, okay, this is gonna be bad. And then we get to later scenes, and you're like, what is going on? Why is this movie good?
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah.
Like, but the rest of the movie's not. So I don't know where it like evens out to for like, I don't know, where it would fall on like a rating.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, if I'm rating the beginning half, it's like a 4 or a 5. Like it's super. I mean, the nudity is like a 10, but like I'm trying to be fair about like reality. It's not good.
Yeah.
Right. But then the later half, I'm like, this is like an 8. This is like high. Yeah. This is really good because the performances from this guy and this girl back and forth and the dialogue and how it's So yeah, all right. Anyway, okay. We get this very weird thing in the opening where we see this car crash and it does this like still image where it like just pauses.
Yes.
For like a lengthy period of time, and then it like flashes to a car wreck, and then it flashes back to this still image for like 5-10 full seconds. I thought that the fucking internet went out multiple times. I was like, I was like checking the settings, like shit. Why isn't the movie? Why'd the picture freeze?
Yeah,
because it made no sense, and it happened literally in the middle of the opening credits. So it literally stops the film.
Yeah.
Opening credits. The opening credits are rolling like normal. The cast names, the production designer, whatever. Then it just stops cold to do these like long still image. Then a couple moments with this, girl just dead on the side of the road that ends up being the killer's daughter.
Well, I think also the long still image is shown a couple times.
Yeah, like 3 times in a row.
I'm pretty sure that there's also audio over it too. Yeah, there's
that's why I thought it was
police,
frozen.
Like sirens and people talking or whatever. So yeah, it's very weird. I don't really know. Like, I know what the intention is. It's supposed to be that he's like looking at where his daughter died and remembering what happened there.
It's like, supposed to create some kind of an intrigue of like, I wonder what that is. And then when it's revealed later, it's like, oh, that's what that is. But it's such a bizarre way to go about it.
Very weird. Very, very weird.
Because then it just morphs right back into the regular opening credits that is not attached to that scene. So you're like driving through the town, credits. Then boom, he gets there. And it just stops cold for a while, for like a full minute or so. Yeah. And then it just like, it's literally feels like it's spliced in to the opening, like right into the middle of the credits. It's fucking so jarring.
It's very weird. I always think it's really funny when movies decide to use like a still image instead of just filming a spot for a certain period of time. I really don't understand why they don't just do that, other than like the cost, or they just didn't get it.
Yeah, I don't think
they just didn't have time to film it, or they forgot to film it.
I don't think they had enough footage.
Whatever, yeah. So they just put in a picture, but it's very weird. And then it moves right into him like breaking and entering into. He doesn't.
But right before that, he pats a kid on the head as he walks in.
Yeah.
And on the way there, which I was kind of curious about, and does play into the film, he's listening to like gospel radio the whole time.
Yeah.
Because he thinks these girls are all sinners.
Yeah, he's a religious person for sure. I hate the ski mask that he's wearing.
The way he's wearing it.
It's so stupid looking. He has like the eye holes, and then like where it's supposed to be either like your mouth or your nose potentially.
I think it's supposed to be for his mouth.
It's supposed to be, I think, for your mouth, but I feel like you probably could put it on your nose.
Maybe.
But he has it like right here.
Between.
He has it in the middle, so you can't see his mouth or his nose. You just see this part, and I'm just like, I thought that looked so stupid.
It's also very obvious who it is.
So obvious because you get so much of his eyes.
Yeah.
And he has such a distinct, like, eye shape and color and everything.
So when the super walks in, you're like, that's like, the killer.
That's him.
Yeah.
That's the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, with slashers, like, for me, if you're going to put a mask on them, it needs to be it needs to make sense as a mask, or it needs to look cool.
Yeah.
I guess this makes sense that he would just put on, like, a random ski mask. But the way he's wearing it doesn't make sense.
You want to know what doesn't make sense to me is the girl in this movie who turns on the shower and then for some reason gets into the shower fully clothed because what happens is she turns on the shower, she realizes she has some clothes hanging up in the shower, so she gets into the shower fully clothed to turn it off. Are you following this logic? Because I'm not. How'd she turn on it from the outside and isn't able to turn it on from the outside as well?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about
this.
She
steps directly into the stream for no reason at all other than to have a scene where she now has to get naked. But it's like she was just going to get in the shower. So just have her get in the shower. Like, you don't need an excuse to get her naked. It's a shower scene.
I don't even think she gets naked, though. Does she?
Yeah.
She does change?
She
gets
gets
naked
her shirt.
And changes.
Yeah,
okay.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, because her shirt gets wet, and it's like, we were like, okay, I guess they wanted
to have the fight
shirt.
scene in the living room.
Yes.
But and I think they only had the actress, I think they probably had a very short, limited amount of time with her. So they didn't want her to take a shower scene because then she might mess up her hair and her makeup or whatever. But girls shower all the time with just their body and don't get their hair or their face wet. If they want to do that like gratuitous nudity shot of her in the shower. It was just such a weird around.
It's very weird because it's like you could just have her come in and change her clothes.
Who would get into the shower with their full clothes on to turn it off?
Nobody would do that. It's really bizarre, I agree. Especially because you literally see her the minute before reach over like a normal person and just turn on the shower.
Couldn't you just have like the shower head is turned this way? Have you ever turned on the shower and the thing's turned wrong and it splashes on you? Like, oh shit!
Yeah,
and it got wet and you take off the shirt and get naked and then turn it off really quick and then she's naked. She's not in the shower. See what I mean?
Very weird.
This is always what
Very weird. Yeah. And she's the first kill and it's like really hard to watch because she like doesn't scream.
She's not the first kill.
Oh, she's not?
She's the second. I think she's the second.
Oh, I think you're right.
I think you're right. The first kill is like some older lady who he comes in to like fix her pipes or something.
Oh, yeah. You're right. She's like drunk.
Yes.
And then okay, sorry. Yeah, she's the second kill.
Yeah.
But she like doesn't really scream and we were like, what is going on?
And then her friend walks in.
Her friend walks in and like sees her dead body, blood everywhere. Yeah. Because this girl makes it outside too. The victim makes the first one. Makes it outside and he kills her like on the stairs outside and then brings her back in, so she's also outdoors and doesn't scream. Anyway, her friend comes in, sees the blood everywhere and like does not react. She like sits down next to the body and like touches her and is like And I get it, like, the idea was to be, like, she's shocked, maybe, like, in shock. But I don't care. You're screaming. You see your friend, you see a dead body with a ton of blood. Yeah. You're screaming.
Especially when the killer comes out and he's got a weapon and she doesn't even try to fight back. It's absurd. Yeah. So yeah, and then we see this scene. It's the girl who's masturbating in the tub later. He looks out from that apartment's window down into the other apartments, and this girl is dancing.
Oh my god!
In very revealing, like, underwear or like underwear. A negligee or something, where you can pretty much see everything she's got to offer. Yeah, and she's directly in her living room window. Yes, with all the shades open, sitting there dancing very, very provocatively. And, like, caressing her tits and the whole works, and he's looking down at it like this is the house of sinners.
Well, yeah, because right above it, there's a young girl, the main girl of this story, who's, like, writing or, like, talking on the phone or something. And just, like you know, it's the contrast, right?
And but that's why he abducts her.
The woman below. Yeah. I mean, I know there's people that are probably, like, you know, they have a... Are you still a voyeur if you like to be watched? I thought voyeur was just if you want to watch people.
Yeah, if you watch people.
What is it if you like to be watched? Is that not still voyeuristic? Like,
maybe that's voyeuristic tendencies, but I don't know. That's a good point. I think it is both.
I think it might be both.
Because voyeurs are people who like to be watched or do the watching.
Yeah, so, like, you could say... Because she is, like, a model or maybe a porn star or something.
Girl, for sure.
I don't know. There's a comment about her coming in at, like, late and stuff. So I don't really know what her job is. I think there's, like, a picture of her, like, naked on the wall, though, like, modeling or something.
She might be a stripper.
My point was... Yeah. She could definitely be one of those people that's like, yeah, like, I want people to look at me, so I'm going to keep... But it's also just kind of crazy to think that there would be women that would be like, I'm going to, like, at my house where I live, I'm going to have it wide open and, like, be mostly naked for the whole world to see.
I thought for a second it was, like, a whorehouse. I thought it was like the red light district. We thought that. Kinda.
We did think that.
Because this is like what you see in Hostel when they're walking around the red light district in Amsterdam and there's like girls dancing in the window like, come in inside and fuck me.
No, she's just... And then she opens her window that has no screen on it. Like she just opens it and I was like...
leaves it open.
It's crazy.
Come rape me.
So crazy.
It's crazy. For sure.
Yeah.
Alright, let's see. And yeah, he peeks in on a guy who's in there, or on a girl with a guy inside the house, and he's just like, nope. Yeah. So the moral of the story is always have a man around.
It did deter him in this case.
Very much so.
He was like, okay, I'm not gonna go after that one, even though the guy is like... He doesn't seem like he would be much of a match for him. I don't know. He's like really thin and kind of scrawny looking. And this guy's like a handyman, like big guy. Yeah. Like he's definitely like scary. He's intimidating physically.
Go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say there is a comment that's made at some point, I think by him, was there when they're talking about like the music being heard and stuff, that the walls are like pretty soundproof. Yeah. So I just wanted to say, like, they did mention that, but I still feel like it doesn't, even if you knew that the walls were like really thick,
you would still scream and you would still pound on them and you would still try to go out the door and, oh, this is stupid. Yeah. Don't try to defend this.
Yeah.
All right. One scene that Kaylee literally had me rewind because she was so baffled by it.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Was...
So our main character,
whose name is Lori.
His name is Lori.
And this movie's from 1978. If I said it was a slasher from 1978 with the main girl character's name is Lori and a guy is randomly going around and killing young women, what movie does that sound like? Yeah.
It's not. This is totally different. Very, very different, actually. Yes. Yeah. Anyway, she like wakes up, goes in the kitchen, takes a pot of hot water off the stove, pours it in, adds her tea bag, walks over to the table, and then takes the tea bag out like immediately.
Yes, steeps the tea bag
so
for
shocked
5 seconds or less.
I know that you can steep tea bags for very, like, some people only want them in for like a minute or so. But yeah, it literally is like 5 seconds.
Or less, yeah.
Or less.
Yeah.
That is crazy. Like, to me, that's just, she wanted busy, like, she's just like, as an actor, like, trying to find like busy work or something, like, to do. But it makes no sense. You can, I drink tea all the time, and you can just do this.
Yeah.
You could just be like, oh yeah, let me swirl the tea bag around or whatever.
I don't think she drinks the tea in the
She
scene.
takes a sip. She does take a sip. Yeah, I'm like, oh, so just some water, some hot water.
Yeah. That's
like the slightest amount of flavor of tea.
Maybe
because she's probably drinking a black tea as well. It's either green tea or black tea if she's drinking it in the morning, most likely, right?
In the 70s, tea steeped faster.
It doesn't. But yeah. I've always been one of those people that
got
like
GMO tea now.
It takes longer. I always leave I have loose leaf tea now, but even when I had been using tea bags, like I pretty much just leave tea bags in like the entire time that I'm drinking the tea. Like I'll let it steep for like 3 to 4 minutes, and then I'll start drinking it, but I'll leave it in there the whole time while I drink it because I like strong tea.
As someone who used to play like 6 hours of Halo a day, I'm triggered by the word teabag.
Yeah. Well.
Sorry. I never teabagged anybody. It was never a thing that I did in video games. I think it's the dumbest shit ever. So fucking stupid. Anyway. Alright. Oh yeah, and also, I should mention, the girl in this, Lori, is wearing an almost identical outfit to Jamie Lee Curtis's Laurie Strode.
It's the blue button down with the jeans. Yeah. I mean, it just has to be like it's a style like it's a fashionable outfit.
Style. Yeah. So the girl that masturbates in the bathtub, she's chased around with a nail gun in this. Yeah. He shoots 2 nails. They both miss her. Then in the bedroom, he shoots one through her abdomen, goes into the wall behind her. Then she falls down onto the ground and pushes herself up against the wall on the opposing side of where she was shot, directly here, right? There's blood on the wall, and there's a nail right there. Then she falls and is like maybe 3 feet up while she's sitting there, and he comes up and he puts the nail gun to her head and he pulls the trigger. And then for some reason, right from there, it pans up the whole wall, probably 7 feet up, and it just keeps going, and the whole way up there's blood, and then at the top there's like a nail.
Crazy.
I don't know what this is.
Weird. I don't either.
What is this edition of this fantasy nail, this phantom nail?
It's supposed to be
the one that went through her head while she was on the ground?
And that she slouches down. But I don't understand how the nail, like, itself goes through her head.
Oh, it's like 6. It's at least 4 to 5 feet above where she was shot.
It doesn't make sense. The, like, length and the distance between, like, where her head is and where she's shot. It definitely doesn't make sense.
It's almost to where the ceiling is.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck were they thinking in that moment? Am I missing something?
No, I don't know. I mean, maybe we are, but
maybe he shot her up through.
No, he goes in.
I know he does. It goes right here,
like right through her head. Yeah. Which I'm like, would a nail from a nail gun go through you?
I mean, if it was that like powerful, if it had a high enough velocity to it, it might.
Yeah.
It would, but I don't know if those old nail guns like that, because it only takes one nail at a time.
Yeah.
You have to individually load each nail, and it like kind of undoes it, and he puts a new one in. During that time, you have so much time to fight back. Would it be easier,
like, to just hammer a nail in? I guess not.
It would.
Because you're like,
no, it wouldn't.
Even though you have to reload it, you still have to pick up a new nail.
They're
and then you have to, like,
thick and and you have to do them deep. Yeah. So it's like a lot of hammering.
Okay.
No.
Maybe it did go through her head, but I mean, this girl, I feel bad for her. She...
I feel bad for everybody in this movie,
all of them,
except for the killers.
Yes, but she was just doing her own thing, and then this guy comes in.
She's jerking off, so what?
Yeah, because he's, like, very upset by that later.
Oh, my God.
He's like, she was doing
but he
something
sits there and
unnatural.
watches
He says it's unnatural.
Yeah, till she climaxes.
Yeah, he waits for her to finish.
So he's like... He's into it. Yeah,
he can't deny it.
Yeah.
And she, like, even kind of tries to, like, be like, can I, like, she gets on the bed and is kind of like, wait, like, no.
Oh,
no.
yeah.
Like, she's sort of, like, playing, like, she'll do something for him if he lets her live, of course.
Yeah.
And that doesn't happen.
Smart.
Yeah, well, sure. She's like, whatever. Awful.
She should have banged on the walls and screamed.
Yes. She's so tiny, though. Like, she's really, really, she was really thin.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. If she could have even, like, made a lot of noise by banging is what I was meaning.
Yeah. R.I.P. to the masturbation girl.
Yeah. R.I.P.
And then he... there's also this really funny scene where the brother of Lori, after she's been kidnapped, his mother comes home and he's, like, worried about his sister. And then the mom's like, you know, get me a drink or whatever, and
get me a cold drink.
Yeah, and he goes into the kitchen. He opens a can of Coke.
Yeah.
Pours some of it into a cup, and then puts the open can of Coke back into the fridge. Who the fuck puts open cans of...
Maybe they did in the 70s.
Coca-Cola into the fridge. That's fucking crazy.
The second you open it, the carbonation is leaving. You have to drink it.
You have to drink it right then and there.
The only time you can do that is if it's like a bottle. Top, but even then, everyone knows, like, once you open that, carbonation goes away pretty quick still.
Well, no, you don't remember that they had, like, the twister things that you could, like, really put it back on and it would hold the carbonation longer?
I never had that.
In the 90s?
No.
Oh, I had them. No. Yeah, it held it pretty damn good. You could keep a 2-liter bottle fizzy for days.
Yeah, it stays longer.
But an open can of Coke?
No. It's like a couple hours.
If that.
Yeah.
If that.
Really weird.
Hour or two at most.
The mom in this is like, you know, she's like a single mom.
Yeah.
She works at a bar. She's always like really tired because she works at a bar.
The detective in this is hitting on her, right?
Yeah.
Because he ends up doing nothing.
He's like pointless.
He is completely pointless.
He literally doesn't do anything.
He's hitting on her, right?
Yeah,
at the bar.
I have to assume that's what that scene is.
Imagine hitting on a woman whose kid's missing. In an apartment complex where multiple women were just found brutally murdered.
Yeah, I'm like,
that same night.
Yes. Well, not only that, but like people die. The police come.
Yeah.
And then more people die.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you talking about? More people die at the place that the other people die. Like,
you weren't watching.
You weren't like keeping it crazy. So crazy.
This detective is useless.
The brother does more than the detective does. The brother is actually like putting pieces together. Yes.
Yeah. He should have told the detective, but yeah.
Well, he doesn't really have time. I mean, he should have pushed. There's a scene with him and the detective later where he's like, well, the girl's like, there's no sign of a struggle, like, for them, like, breaking the door in or anything, right? Like, they would have opened the door because they knew the person. And the detective is like, what do you know? Fucking stupid boy. Like, you don't know anything about detection. Like, he, like, totally brushes it off. Yeah. I'm like, that's a wonderful point. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Like, of course, yeah, if there's no, like, forced entry.
Yeah.
They open the door because they know the person or are expecting...
Basic police detective work.
Everyone knows that.
Yes. 100%.
So weird.
Any detective would know that.
Yes.
They wouldn't even need to be told it. They would be like, there's no signs of forced entry. It's like one of the first things you look for because it lets you know whether or not the person knew the other person.
Yeah.
Or if the door was unlocked. Or, you know, if there's a sign of struggle, then the person was fighting back. If there's no sign of struggle, then the person was either knew the person or was, like, cold-cocked. You can tell by, you know, there's so many. I mean, I've watched so many of these types of shows at this point in my life, especially, like, the real-life crime stuff. So I feel like I'm halfway to being a detective myself from how much of that shit I've watched. So, yeah, it's crazy to me. I agree. It's fucking insane.
Yeah.
That guy is pathetic. Yeah, so he ends up working the brother of Laurie, because Laurie gets kidnapped.
Yeah.
And then he ends up working with a friend of his who ends up being the killer's son?
Nephew.
Is it nephew?
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say nephew, and then I questioned
Yeah.
myself for a second. No, because it's his cousin.
Yeah.
Yes, nephew.
His nephew. They're going around and cleaning out the blood from all these apartments
little
that people
sunshine
died.
cleaning.
He's such a creep.
He is a
literally
creep.
From the first time we see him,
Yeah.
I was like, no.
You hate his pants and his belt.
Yeah, I didn't like his outfit.
Yeah.
But mostly I just thought he was a creep in general. And he is. He ends up being a total creep.
There was a funny scene with Laurie's brother in this where, like, it's very clearly cat meowing. Like, just meows like a normal cat. And then he's like, what was that? And he looks, and then when he looks over, a cat, like, kind of shuffles by, and it plays these, like, little cute little notes when it goes by.
It's cute.
And I was just like, what the fuck was that scene? What's that? The most typical meow of all time.
Like, it was so that? Obviously a kitty.
It's a cat! You ever heard of a cat, dipshit? Oh, boy. All right.
Not.
But yeah, then we get the interaction between the killer and Laurie. And we have this total kind of like actors showdown between the victim and the psychopath. And the killer is played by a like kind of Hollywood alum, somebody who had like a pretty prestigious career in Hollywood back in the day with like, you know, he was in some Marilyn Monroe stuff, and like he's a big actor back in his day. And that shows here because he gives a great performance.
Fantastic performance, yeah.
His name's Cameron Mitchell.
Yeah.
And he's like completely lost his fucking mind after his daughters died, and he feels like the world, like she was led to her death because of how fucked up the world is. And he's like, you can't live in this world now and not be like corrupted. Yes, corrupted. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, it's weird because in the beginning of the scene, he like kind of acknowledges that Laurie isn't his daughter.
Yeah, it's weird.
He's like, she's prettier than you, and all this stuff. But then when Laurie starts to kind of play into it, he totally buys into this, like, this is my daughter.
This is my daughter, yeah.
They have some really creepy lines where he's like asking her, like, did it hurt to die? And she's telling him all this stuff about, like, no, it didn't hurt, like, this hurts worse, and heaven, like, it's purple, and like just very weird and like just creepy and unsettling conversation in general.
Yeah.
And her performance is fucking amazing. Like, we get her acting earlier, it's nothing, like, it's just kind of whatever, like, it feels like sort of the same as the rest of the people in the film, but then this scene happens and it's like, holy cow, like,
she's very good at playing scared.
The fear in her eyes and just the way that she's looking at him while he's talking and all of that. And I mean, she does something.
I think what probably is the case there is that he's such a good actor that she's just reacting.
I think so
and
too.
She's probably just genuinely scared of him.
Yeah, I think that can happen. I mean, that's like the ideal, is that you want both actors to be good, but like, the more believable the scene feels, the easier it is for both people to actually react from each other.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just so scary and so realistic, and it just feels like you're watching an actual, like, psychopath, like, kidnapping, you know, having kidnapped somebody and talking to them. And, you know, the second that she buys into it and is like, just calls him daddy, and like,
she's smart for
very smart to do it, because if she had not done that, I do think he would have killed her. But because of her, like, playing along with it, it does, I think, save her life. I mean, she saves her own life, obviously, in the end, but great scene, really creepy, definitely like the highlight of the movie for sure. I was just like so sucked in, like that's that point where I was like, what are we watching? Like, this is not what I was expecting.
No.
So
no, I wasn't expecting it to go there at all.
No.
Then the brother gets lit on fire as he doesn't try to fight back at all.
He, like, puts it together. He goes there, finds the toolbox, is looking at all the blood. The cousin comes in, and he's like, look, it's blood. And he's like, no, it's not. And then he pours paint thinner on him.
Yeah.
And they have this, like, stupid chase around the garage. And, yeah, he lays on the ground for, like, 30 seconds while this guy's, like, flicking matches at him. And it's like, what are you doing? Why aren't you...
At least a minute.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was so long.
Yeah.
And then he gets lit on fire and dies.
Yeah, he's lighting matches one by one and then letting them, like, kind of burn for a while. And then he, like, randomly throws it to the right. And he's, like, antagonizing him with lit matches. And then he lets him fully, like, light up an entire matchbook as he sits there. Guy doesn't try to move. He doesn't try to do anything.
Yeah, he's
and
just,
he finally just lights him on fire and he screams out and dies. And it's like... Oh my God, can anyone in this movie do anything?
Crazy. While that's happening, we go back to the room.
And you can hear him screaming in the background, which is great.
He's like, yeah, that's scary.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, it's just kids. It's just kids. They just play on the weekends. They're just loud.
Yeah.
It's like, if she only knew that was her brother, which, like, later she does find out her brother's dead.
Yeah.
But, like, oh my God, yeah, it's scary.
Yeah, she, so the nephew ends up killing our main killer here because they get into a fight and he ends up stabbing him, which is a really fucking kind of like battle of the psychos. They're both super psycho, and he even like kind of walks into the knife in like almost a psychosis, and ends up dying. And then the guy goes into the room, and Lori feels like, I'm saved, right?
Yeah.
She's all excited that she's saved, and because she knows this guy, and is like, let me get out of here. And the guy like starts talking to her, and he starts trying to kiss on her, and she's like, what the hell are you doing? And he straight up rapes her.
Yes. Horrible.
And then while she's like laying there after she's been raped, he left the scissors that she cuts him free with, and then she like looks over at them, and then we just cut to another scene where she's walking down like in a parking lot, covered in blood with the scissors, and she's just vacant. And then we like cut to the credits where it like has this text on the screen that says that this was based on a true story, and the real girl after these events went into a mental institution for like 5 years, and then had kids and her mom died or something.
Yeah.
But I looked it up. This is not based on a true story. That is complete nonsense bullshit that they put in there just to scare the audience. But
yeah, I was really kind of confused by the way it was written, but I think that's like a great like ending, and like just the jump cut of her looking at the scissors and then just her walking covered in blood was like a really nice. I liked that a lot. So. Yeah, very, very bizarre, because the second half of this film, as we've already said, like it feels like a totally different movie, and it's really solid and really good.
Yeah.
And then the first half is just so like typical like B-movie bad slasher kind of film. So I'm very curious about the remake as well, especially with Tobe Hooper directing it. Just really interested to see what happens there.
Same.
But yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's a recommendation.
Yeah.
I mean, you just listen to us tell you everything that happens, but.
Yeah. If you
if you haven't seen it.
If you like titties and good performances. Check
it
out.
It feels, it's like a pretty heavy movie though.
Yeah.
Like the stuff that happens when she's kidnapped, and then like the rape and everything, like all of that's really heavy and dark. And like it definitely left me like a bad feeling,
Sure.
Like a lot of slashers. I mean, not that I love seeing people die, although I guess I kind of do because of horror movies. But like, sometimes you watch a slasher, like what is it, American Family or American Murder? What was that one?
I'm sorry.
That one slasher we watched that I really loved. That was about like the
American Gothic.
American Gothic. Sorry.
Yeah.
Like that one was like a fun, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some messed up stuff in there too, actually. But anyway. This one just feels a lot darker.
Yeah, sure, of course. So. Yeah, that stuff's not fun to watch. Like, the opening's fun and stupid, and you can laugh and whatever, but then the second half is like, it gets really dark, and you're like, oh, there's no more fun to be had here.
No more fun.
Yeah. So yeah, very weird tonal shift of a film. But a recommendation. It is on Prime currently. And if you don't have Prime, I'm pretty sure it's on Tubi, because what the fuck isn't?
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
So
So,
yeah.
All right, the Toolbox Murders. I've finally seen it.
We saw it.
And we will report back next week with the remake. And then we'll see if we have the stomach for the sequel to the remake, because it has a really low rating.
Yeah,
so
we'll see.
We'll see.
All right.
All right, we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.